All right, welcome back. National Report just brought you President Zelensky's speech to Congress. Really a powerful one and a lot of requests built inside of it. Here with reaction is Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn joining us live here. Senator, thanks so much for taking the time. I'm obviously listening in there. Your overall thoughts on Zelenskyy and how that affected members of Congress?
It was such an inspirational speech. Here is a man who is president of his country. He is 45 years old, and he talked with great passion and earnestness about their needs. He was really explicit in what they need. A no-fly zone, or if they cannot have that, if that was a reach too far, then giving him the planes and the artillery, the anti-aircraft missile systems so that they can defend themselves. He showed a video of all of the horror that is taking place. He mentioned the devastating effect of 100 children that have lost their lives in this fighting. And he really personalized this to the United States when he talked about September 11th and Pearl Harbor and times when we have needed freedom fighters, freedom lovers to stand with us. That was quite compelling to say, stand with Ukraine. The other thing I thought was really significant toward the end of his speech, he talked about strong does not mean the same thing as big. He said strong doesn't mean you have to be big. And he talked about the strength that the people of Ukraine are showing in pushing back on Russia and trying to end this, and how Ukrainians want to be free, want to live peacefully. And then he gave President Biden a challenge by saying, you're the leader of the free world. You should be the leader of peace. And I thought that was really quite significant.
Definitely a moment that stood out. Of course, that speech ending with a bipartisan show, a standing ovation, definitely moving among anyone who was in attendance or those who were tuning in. As you point out, Senator, the president will have his chance to respond to Zelenskyy, essentially directly, coming up later this morning here. Again, the reported $800 million in additional defense spending, military equipment for the Ukrainians here. But do you think the president addresses that direct call for a no-fly zone?
Emma, I'm not sure he will address the no-fly zone. There's much debate about that. But here's the thing. If you give them the planes that they need and the missiles, the javelins, the stingers that they need, if they get the drones that they need, equipping them so that they have that air power, then they will be able to, in essence, create the benefit that a no-fly zone would give them, which is they will be able to get those Russian bombs out of there, stop those planes from coming through. That's what he's wanting, and giving him what he needs to defend himself. That is something we should do, stepping up the rate at which we're sending these supplies in. It should be continuous going into them. Of course, we all know this administration chose to do nothing until there was an attack by Russia. So that put them on the backside. I was one of the ones that last fall, I sent a letter to the White House. Now's the time for economic sanctions, keep the sanctions on Nord Stream, be certain that you're selling Ukraine lethal assistance, which is what they're needing right now. They don't have enough.
Senator, just final thoughts, and we'll let you go on this one here. As President Biden is set to speak at 11:45, it has been a slow rollout, if you will, in terms of assisting Ukraine. It does happen, but it seems to be a trickle-down effect at this point. Do you expect this administration to somehow cooperate and allow these MiGs, again, these aircrafts that are requested by Zelenskyy, to get to Ukraine?
My hope is that Poland and the U.S. are going to work this out. It would be nice for them to work it out today.
All right, Senator Marsha Blackburn joining us live.
You got it.
We appreciate it. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you very much.